Archangel has provided us with blueprints of the interior, but we won't know what's still intact until we get there. Stay sharp, take control of that AO. The plan is to advance sector by sector. Secure each...
We are moving to attack Alpha 1.
Marking hostile! North east! Need a second to reload! over here! No, stay away! Oh, I need to go on my mark! Just stay here! Grenade going out!
Assault on Alpha 1 begun by our forces.
We're out of time and resources. All troops evacuate immediately.
Charlie Foxtrot, here we come.
We are in need of reinforcements in the Scottish Hebrides. One of our recon units discovered an underground laboratory there. What they found was of incredible concern. Technology like we have never seen before, developed in secret. Reports claim the laboratory belonged to a company called Boreas, but we suspect this is part of another American conspiracy. Hold the line until our forces extract all necessary evidence. Do not back down.
Defend your objectives and hold this sector.
Trouble over here!
We have fallback positions if needed, but we must wear down the U.S. forces.
Grenade! Out go!
You can't hold them any longer. Fall back and mount your defense in the next sector. objective Bravo 1.
Enemy is down!
All objectives won. Withdraw to the next sector. Mount your defense there.
Mark the objective. Defend that.
Prepare for the next wave. Hold your objectives.
God damn it, gotta reload!
Fuck off. It's funny because I was talking about this with Anoku earlier. No, we were. I was thinking as well, actually. But it's up to you, really.
Sector lost. Fall back and mount a new defense in the next sector.
Cover me, I'm reloading!
That's crazy.
If they break through now, the battle is over. You must protect this sector.
Strength there, okay? Hold here at all costs.
Tango down! Woohoo, you are doing well! I'm reloading!
Exactly, and you can actually get spies in here, so you don't want people like that.
Reloading, hold on! One out!
Hmm.
Our forces have lost Delta 1.
Take control of the marked objective.
There's nowhere left to run. We have failed.
Yeah. I swear he's got ADHD. We could just jump in all a bit. Yeah, we don't have to jump in now. We can just, like, prepare over time. That's not going to be a huge issue. And also, we got to work out how we're going to do all this. We got to organize ourselves again. And since everything has gone to shit, we got to sort things out. We got to allocate.
No solo shit out there.
Yeah.
You're being deployed to a bunker in the Scottish Hebrides. The Russians have dug in, scavenging tech out of the underground lab belonging to Boreas R&D. We can't let the enemy get their hands on cutting-edge material. Push into the laboratory and clear the Eastern forces out. Archangel has provided us with blueprints of the interior, but we won't know what's still intact until we get there. Stay sharp, take control of that AO. The plan is to advance sector by sector. Secure each, and we'll keep the hostiles on the run.
Move to and attack that objective!
Beginning attack on Alpha 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's also causing problems now, because like we've got issues now where like other people want to split off and do their own shit, and that's a bit of a problematic situation we're having to deal with, because it's not really fair on all of us at the moment. Because like I mean, I've been like sat in these conversations multiple times, like, you know, behind the scenes and hearing what's going on, and I've been hearing like people saying that that other of our friends and allies want to go and do different specific things. This is why the FTM kind of collapsed in the first place, because we were too spread out. So I don't disagree with you. I think we should actually have a similar strategy how you guys did it with the Wreckers. I agree. I think that we should have a way of doing it, not just, you know, fuck around with other players and we're gonna like have a giant war. The more you start like, you know, finger blasting your own friends and everything else, the more you do that, the more you'll push us away. And that's exactly what, you know, Tempest and Anoku has been saying for months. And it's got to a point where everybody, such as Bluntfield's in a massive bad state. I was in it for fucking months. And I was watching the whole situation unfold. I was in this Discord the whole time. I even, like, saw what was going on. And I can tell you, there was no communication. There was no talks. I wasn't even involved with the communication. So it just goes to show how bad the whole situation is over there. Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think he's talking at the minute. Mm. Mm.
Shit! Friendly down!
Yeah. No.
We've spent half our resources by now.
Yeah. 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 Mm. Yeah.
Loading! Our forces are moving to attack Alpha.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Friendly's targeting Alpha 1.
Oh, yeah. Rightly so. Really? 7 people?
The sector still remains in Russian hands. The defenses are holding our troops
Wow. Yeah.
Snowpack, return to the fight. Our attack on Alpha 1 is underway. Friendly is down!
Yeah. 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 That's crazy. The trouble is, I mean, coming from my point of view now, like, because I'm like, I'm not as seasoned as you guys, but I joined the game in 2021, and basically, I remember, you know, starting up my own union or guild or whatever before it started out being like that, and I remember having like to try and build up over time, but I never was able to build up squads or anything else like that. And then eventually I just sat there and just figured, like, why was it so difficult? And then when I joined, you might know these guys actually, funny enough, because I used to be part of them. I used to be part of Arcturus years ago, and Polaris Empire was one of them, funny enough. And they kicked me out because I wasn't strong enough. But you know, it's funny. I talk about this story all the time because recently I was able to like talk about what was going on over there, and basically I was never kept in the loop. So it was pretty much similar to what I was dealing with in Bluntville. But at the same time, what triggered me the most nowadays about, you know, organization and all that stuff is that they basically had a toxic mindset over strength. They were so, like, obsessed over this. You've got to have this high K, you have to have all this power, you've got to have this, you know, high level, you've got to be super active, all that stuff. And then they came round to me and like a fair few times, and I said, I'm trying to build up, but none of you are teaching me how to do it. And, you know, I basically got ignored a fair few times. I tried being in Discord, like their Discord, for a while, and never got taught anything. So that's why, like, this year and early last year was the first time I ever had to play with the FTM, but also I was taught how to actually play the game properly, because I was never taught anything. So it's just ironic when you hear that. So I know what you guys are saying when, you know, like when you say that, you know, things have to be better in that sense, because I understand it, because, like, you know, for someone who's actually been like with a much, much bigger union who is basically tough, I don't know if they're tough now, but, you know, at the time they went through like 3 different leaders in like 2 months, because I'm still like, I don't know what he does. I don't know what they're doing now, but I still like have their details on Discord, but I barely speak to them now. But yeah, they just kicked me out, and basically, this was literally just around the time I lost my grandmother as well, and I told them that, and they completely ignored it, and they kicked me out. That's what pissed me off. No, exactly.
Protect your objectives and hold your ground as long as possible. They will try to push us back sector by sector. We need to hurt them until they retreat. U.S. forces have taken this sector. Fall back and regroup in the next. You're moving off the map. Turn around.
Oh, you were talking about me? I thought you were talking about the other chap. Fuck off. Anoki, you're a cunt. Well, you have got Prince Harry, who might potentially be coming back to the UK. He's got a toxic wife. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Harry, yeah. She's fucking toxic as hell. Yeah. Yeah. I remember basically watching like videos about them talking about it back in, I think it was 2016 or 17, and I just like, because I was in college at this point, I was watching the whole wedding, and the whole wedding was like 2 to 3 hours long, and this entire hour they were basically talking. I don't want to sound disrespectful because I'm not religious, but they're basically they were like proper Catholic in like doing it, and basically the Queen. I was watching the Queen, and the Queen was just falling asleep. I just remember watching her face. She was just funny. It was funny to me at the time, but I don't know how you guys would feel about it. But to me at the time, it was really funny. Well, this is, well, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised because what you guys don't realise is that basically Harry fucked over his entire family, and basically William, you know, being like now in line of the throne, he's now basically Harry was basically saying things to the press that the monarchy did not want to have private information mentioned. So he mentioned all these things, and basically after like the Queen passed away and everything, the only time that Harry only came over was for the funeral. But basically behind the scenes there was like proper shouting matches between Harry and his brother, and basically there was a few times where it actually got violent. So like, you know, it was bad. Yeah, there's some shit going on between those two, and that was because of Merkel. So, I'll explain how this works. So, when someone marries from a commoner, so basically, Kate Middleton, who is William's, Katie Middleton, or Catherine, she was a commoner, and she grew up as a commoner. But basically, as soon as they started dating between each other, that kind of wasn't like that. And it's the same with the royal family in general. So, like, it's different from a different perspective, but from our perspective is basically, their perspective is like, like, we can still date anybody, like, you know, that is a commoner, but that doesn't mean that they would basically be taking advantage or taking influence from that, because in the royal family you have to have a lot of rules, and there is some rules in the royal family that Meghan Markle basically broke so many in the time that she was living in the UK with Harry, and that's why they ran to America, because basically the royal family was basically so fed up with them. They basically then left, and Harry had a bit of a hissy fit, and he basically took off and left the whole family behind. And then recently, since Trump's now back in power, he's now talking about basically, you know, doing all these things in that sense, and he's not happy about it. So, in my view, that's kind of a middle finger to Harry. I find that funny, because that is exactly what's going on with him. Because to me, I feel like that's his downfall. But I don't know how you guys would see that. But you know, Harry had some rocky ups and downs. You know, he's gone through a lot. But also, Harry has to. I mean, William has too. I mean, like, William still to this day still struggles with the loss of his mother. But you know, the king nowadays, Charles, he wasn't a very good husband towards Diane. And when Diana basically passed away in a tunnel and was mobbed by the paparazzi, she was basically like, she was in such a bad way. Like, basically, this was how bad she was, because I did like a lot of research about it. And basically, how bad it was that she had several internal injuries, and basically they tried to get her stable and everything, but the body that, like, the whole thing that was going on with her end of her body was shutting down almost immediately. Like, her body from the inside was completely mangled. That was how bad it was. And when you... Well, no, actually that wasn't the case. So we did... That's the thing, they don't do that. You see, I'm not saying they did that. I don't believe the CIA would do something like that. But, you know, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that's... Well, that's the thing. I'm too young to do something like that. I am way too young, motherfucker. Like, I can't even do something like that.
Boss cells are losing resources.
Yeah, I mean, like... Well, in case you guys didn't know this, when Churchill was still alive, years before he passed away, he was trying to build Britain into a federation, basically. He was trying to build, like, states throughout the United Kingdom. We would still have, you know, the monarchies, just we would have it as a federation instead. So that's why there was, like, films like the British Federation and stuff like that because of things like that. But that was basically what they were going to do. They weren't going to make it as a republic. They were going to make it as a federation. And before the empire basically split its remaining dominions across the globe, because don't forget, we were like basically the biggest empire on Earth. But don't get me wrong, I'm not proud of the shit that we have done as an empire. Don't get me wrong, I was not happy about the things that I learned. But it gave you guys a chance to become a nation yourself. So, you know, some bad has actually kind of made some good. No, but I meant, that's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say.
Enemy resources are down to 50%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we still do have the golden vaults over in London. We still got things like that, and the tower is still around. I believe that the old tower, like the old famous tower that's been around for decades and centuries, that's still around. But I think, if I'm rightly remember, it's only now used to be as a museum in a way. But they still have like a museum dedicated to basically the crown and things like that, because the crown has to have everything else like that. But one thing that the monarchy is interesting to me is that they have traditions that go back like nearly, I think it's like nearly 100 or 200 years, probably more than that. And there was basically this is going to sound stupid to you guys, but so before Charles was crowned, that we had to basically bring a very ancient stone that is basically known to basically have this mystical power or something like that. That's the myth of it. And basically they brought it over and they basically settled it upon the chair that the king was going to sit at. And, you know, Queen Elizabeth was sat there as well. She sat on with the stone too. The stone would sit underneath the chair and everything else. And basically it would give them like mystical powers or something like that. That was how it was played out. That's the religion that was seen back then. So when you guys like watched I would imagine the coronation wasn't just about like, you know, crowning the king. It was basically about representing strength to the king. That's all it's about. It's basically, this tradition is basically to say, we give you luck in strength and power, but we do not, like, we don't want this, like, cursing your rule. So the king has overall domination of, like, specific stuff, but that doesn't mean he's actually involved with political situations. So we can't. He can form his own, yes, but there is rules again. As I was saying to you, there is rules. Like the rules are a bit different on that end of that spectrum. It's hard to explain it from a different point of view, but basically we have the constitutional monarchy. So basically, the Prime Minister, who is basically the leader of the country who represents us. So think of it as like the president basically going to, say, like a representative of the country. And that's what it is. Yeah, no, I'm just basically saying in general like how that works. It's hard to explain it from a different point of view.